At it again. So I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I came across that I found very interesting. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you are new. If you would like to help me out even further with this YouTube algorithm too, watch this video to the very end. Helps out tremendously. I would greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, let's dive in. Now, I've got a few clips for you guys today, so stick around, kick back, relax. Grab a snack, drink of your choice, and, just listen to some of this because, I got a few clips. I'm not going to play the whole clip for all of them. One of them is really, really long. I don't want to keep y'all here that long. But I just found this very, very interesting. Let's dive in.
Now, just a few moments ago, Donald Trump passed through here, so we had a minute to talk with him. Let's roll that tape. You can see what he had to say.
Well, I've never seen anything like it. I've seen two huge 110-story buildings that are reduced to rubble, thousands and thousands of lives. I just got to see something that I've never seen before. I have hundreds of men inside working right now, and we're bringing down another 125 in a little while, and they've never done work like this before. And they're hardworking people, but they've never seen anything like it, and they've never done work like this before. It's terrible.
Tell me what it's like at Ground Zero. Tell me about the workers that you saw and what they're doing there.
Well, not only is it devastation, but it's very dangerous because every few minutes a whistle would go off and everybody would just run because you have all the buildings around it, which are in such a weakened state that people just don't know. And so they just have to take off. And then they come back and they're working under 50-story buildings that you don't know if they're going to fall down. So it's a terrible thing for the workers, and it's a terrible thing for the world, really.
How have you spoken to any of your men? Do you know how they're reacting to this? Because emotionally, this must be so incredibly difficult.
Well, there are a lot of them, but they've never seen bodies like this. I mean, the bodies all over. The great thing is when they find somebody that's alive, like the 5 firemen that they just found a little while ago. So that's the great thing, and that's what they're all striving for. But generally speaking, that's not the case. So they are working very, very hard, but it's a very depressing situation for these folks.
As you walked around and as you saw the piles of rubble, there are thousands of families out there who are hoping that someone might be in a pocket somewhere, still alive, still breathing, waiting to be dug up. As you assessed that damage from your perspective, do you believe that's possible?
Well, I would certainly not want to be the one to say it's not possible. Certainly it's a tough situation, but you can't give up hope because there's always hope. I mean, the 5 men, I'm sure their families thought that they probably were gone, and now they walk in the door. A couple of them walked away after they were dug out. So there probably are some more people in there, and therefore you can't give up hope.
You've had an impact on the skyline of New York. What is it like as you see it now?
It's like a whole different skyline. It's like a whole different city and world. I cannot believe the sight of Lower Manhattan without the World Trade Center, and therefore we have to rebuild, not necessarily in that form, but we have to rebuild at least as good and maybe better.
Just finally, can you tell me emotionally as you walked around, we've heard some of the stories from the firemen. They're so exhausted and mentally and physically. What was it like for you personally to go in and see all of what you saw?
Well, it was amazing to see it. It was a very depressing scene, but I'll tell you what, you really can take heart. These firemen and policemen and the construction workers equally, the courage they have is unbelievable. I mean, they're working, digging out and lifting up steel, and above them you have 55-story buildings that are very possibly going to be pouring down on them any minute, and they're working like nothing's wrong. I mean, they're amazing.
So I wanted to highlight that because, remember, this is the guy that they tell us is a horrible, terrible, no good, very bad guy, right? Not only was that, I believe that was days after, the tragedy happened, actually there on the ground, going down there. He doesn't have to go there. He doesn't have to do that. I mean, he was already rich at that point in time, so he doesn't have to be involved, but he was.
We are having some technical difficulties, which is totally understandable when you try to do ad hoc reporting and getting information to you as fast as we possibly can and making sure that it's accurate at the same time. So
Donald Trump is on the line. I mean, we know him as the man behind lots of real estate in Manhattan. And of course, Donald, I understand you were actually a witness to what happened this morning.
Well, I have a window that looks directly at the World Trade Center, and I saw this huge explosion. I was with a group of people, and I really couldn't even believe it. And even, I think, worse than that, for years I've looked right directly at the building. I'd see the Empire State Building in the foreground and the World Trade Center in the background, and now I'm looking at absolutely nothing. It's just gone, and it's just hard to believe.
Donald, Alan Marcus here. Your building is, the Trump Tower, is one of the great tourist attractions in the world. It's well known universally. Are you taking any precautions there in light of what happened at the World Trade Center?
Well, Alan, we've always had, as you know, very, very strong security, but there's very little you can do about planes crashing into a building. I mean, you look at Larry Silverstein, who's a terrific owner in New York and a very good friend of mine who I just called. I was very worried about him because I assumed maybe he was in the building. He took possession of the building 1 week ago. As you know, he just bought the World Trade Center.
Right.
And he was in his office, and he was getting ready to move into the World Trade Center over the next 2 weeks. So when I just spoke to him, there's nothing you can do when people are going to be bombing planes at your building. Now,
Donald?
I guess maybe the world is going to be changing, and maybe you're going to have F-16s flying all over the city, etc. But it's a pretty tough situation.
Donald, you have one of the landmark buildings down in the financial district, 40 Wall Street. Did you have any damage, or did you know what's happened down there?
Well, it was an amazing phone call I made. 40 Wall Street actually was the second tallest building in downtown Manhattan, and it was actually, before the World Trade Center, was the tallest. And then when they built the World Trade Center, it became known as the second tallest, and now it's the tallest. And I just spoke to my people, and they said it's the most unbelievable site. It's probably 7 or 8 blocks away from the World Trade Center, and yet Wall Street is littered with 2 feet of stone and brick and mortar and steel, and there are thousands of people walking over the debris over the Brooklyn Bridge, where they're sending them out over the Brooklyn Bridge to Brooklyn, and then I guess they're going to have to figure out how to get home from there. But they have between 1 foot and 2 feet of debris right in front of a building that's probably, you would say, Alan, 6 or 7 blocks away.
Sheesh, that is insane. But like I said, this is the guy that they say was a terrible guy. You know, he's actually at, you know, or close to the site just days after, calling in to the local news and, you know, giving his thoughts and his opinions. I mean, this stuff is just what they accuse. Anyway.
BuzzFeed dug up an old quote from Donald Trump talking about a large-scale terror attack 19 months before 9/11. In his 2000 book, The America We Deserve, Trump wrote, "I really am convinced we're in danger of the sort of terrorist attacks that will make the bombing of the 1993 Trade Center look like little kids playing with firecrackers." Trump also mentioned the mastermind of the attack, writing, quote, "One day, we're told that a shadowy figure with no fixed address named Osama bin Laden is public enemy #1, and U.S. jet fighters lay waste to his camp in Afghanistan. He escapes back under some rock, and a few news cycles later, it's on to a new enemy and a new crisis." Trump.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Is this really Trump before 9/11? Have you read this?
It's 2000 in his book.
Are we making this? Did you make this up, Mika?
Nick.
I did.
Did you make this up?
Yeah,
Nick,
exactly.
tell us it's over, right? Because
Will you
you're wrong
stop?
about everything.
Mika, stop. God.
I don't think it's over.
What's that? What's the rage here? Will you stop
No,
picking
it's
on
cute.
him?
I think it's cute.
Well,
go for it.
no, really quickly, though. I mean, so Willie, that was
2000.
2000.
In a book he wrote in the year 2000. Yeah.
Well, it was published in 2000. He could have written in 1999 for all we know.
Exactly. He might have been a bit more precious.
So he basically predicted the attack.
He was right. You know, they always tell us he's wrong about everything. He was right. How he knew that was going to happen, I have no clue. I don't have a single clue. But clearly he put 2 and 2 together and it added up to 4, and he just said it. Right? And all the while that you have, I mean, goodness gracious, you have this guy lying.
To renew our sacred vow, never forget. Never forget. We never forget. Each of us, each of those precious lives stolen too soon when evil attacked. Ground Zero in New York. And I remember standing there the next day and looking at the building. I felt like I was looking through the gates of hell. It looked so devastating because from where you could stand.
He remembers standing there the next day? I have a thing here from shout out to Benny Johnson. I have something here that says he wasn't there. Take a look. September 12th, 2001, Senate session. Oh, he was there, huh? He was there. Really? He said the next day. Here you have the next day. I mean, hey, maybe he flew there afterwards. I don't know. But according to this, he wasn't there. But Donald Trump is the horrible, terrible, no good, very bad person, right? You know, I've got other clips of Donald Trump being at Ground Zero recently after it happened. Close after it happened. I've got more clips. So we have all the evidence that he was there and he doesn't have to lie about it. But Joe just continues to lie still. And he's just the greatest person in the world. Trump's the horrible, terrible, no good, very bad person. Really? Trump's the bad guy. And Trump's the liar. Trump actually was right. He called it. And, of course, Biden, I mean, I guess we should be used to him lying. It's not like it's the first time. Right? He's been caught lying before and even called out on it on the news, when the news actually was the news, right? When the news actually reported true news and not people's opinions. I mean, goodness gracious, can we get back to that, please? Where the news just reports news only and not people's opinions. Can we get back to that? Because it is called the news, not people's opinions, you know? I don't know. That's just how I'm feeling about it. But y'all let me know in the comment section. I just found that really, really interesting, especially considering, we're a day after, the anniversary of that tragedy. Obviously, rest in peace to all those lives lost. And man, that is insane. Watching some of those clips, massive buildings just free falling. That's a whole nother discussion that I'll spare y'all from today, because we can go on for a whole half an hour longer with that whole rabbit hole, which I'm sure y'all know where I could possibly go with that. Okay, but we're not gonna talk about that today. But I just wanted to show that to you guys, because I know a lot of people probably haven't seen those. I know I hadn't seen those before, and then to hear Joe just blatantly lying like that, or at least allegedly lying. I mean, maybe he went there after, but it didn't seem like it. He wasn't there. He was. Granted, I will give him credit. He was doing his job, but you don't have to lie about it. I don't know. It's just weird. Y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.